Hi everybody, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, we have an update on the female passenger who went overboard on the 80s themed cruise, and we have some conversations from the family that might be hinting at something. We also have basically almost a fairly relatively new cruise ship. A 15-year-old cruise ship is being sold off. Not one of those 28, 29-year-old ones. A 15-year-old one has just been sold. We have some huge news coming from anybody going to Roatan and booking one of these shore excursions, which are probably the most popular shore excursions there. There's huge changes coming to it. You might want to know about it before you spend a lot of money and don't get what you thought you were going to get. And then finally, let's talk about what happens if you forget a camera, your bag, or anything on board a cruise ship. How do you get it back? So we now know the person who went overboard was Kimberly Birch. She was a fiancée of Tammy Down, who is in the band Faster Pussycats. They were a big 80s band, apparently. I actually never heard of them, but that's beside the point. We have now the family is kind of questioning what happened. First of all, we do know that there was a heated argument before the overboard was sounded from the couple. Also, we know she went overboard from a balcony now, not from anywhere else on the ship, but in the cabin balcony. Now, the mother has come out and said she's recently talked to her and there was no sign that she might self-harm herself. She don't think she would ever do this. She was a happy-go-lucky person in a good mood. She was in a good state of mind and doesn't think that that could happen. Also, other family members have come out and said the exact same thing. Not really throwing accusations at possible foul play or anything like that, but kind of innuendo towards it. In the meantime, they're just saying that they're waiting patiently for the police and Royal Caribbean to come up with answers. They want answers as to what happened. Well, Royal Caribbean obviously is handing over all the camera footage they can possibly find. Police will be interviewing witnesses, etc. on board, and hopefully it's just a tragic situation and hopefully no foul play was really involved. They haven't come out and said that, but they kind of hinted at it slightly. Next, let's talk about a huge change coming to Roatan as they enhance their efforts, they say, to stop endangered species trafficking, and they've seen an increase in Roatan, and they've come out with a new law that says you can, no longer over-manipulate the wildlife. And when they say over-manipulate, in brackets it says hold or take pictures of sloths, monkeys, or parrots. Now, if you've been to Roatan, chances are you've seen the sloth sanctuaries that are there, like Daniel Johnson's. They are kind of like a rescue area as well, where they're entirely funded by tours and people going there to visit. And of course, being able to hold a
he's just looking for a place to jump to.
Real, enjoyment for a lot of people. I enjoy it. They're cute, they're cuddly, and I hold them with great respect and very calm. And if they ever want to leave me, I let them go. But I don't think that's necessarily a real harmful thing. I never see anybody mistreating these animals, and the keepers are always right there making sure you don't. And also, the animals have been there 15 years, 16 years. It's not like they're bringing in illegal trafficked animals all the time. So I don't know if they're the situation that's doing the trafficking, but they're going to be the ones, I think, who are punished by this law, because who's going to pay a photographer to follow you around in a group and take pictures of you if you're not holding those sloths or the monkeys aren't on you and you're just beside them, and you're going to take your own phone, you're going to take your own selfie. And don't forget, if you can't hold a sloth, will you go see the sloths as much? Maybe not. And I think that's going to hurt attendance. And I think that's going to hurt the financial stability of these sanctuaries, because they're entirely funded by our donations and our money that we spend in these places. I hope they reconsider the sanctuary ones, and maybe focus on the ones that are just walking down the street with a sloth and you're paying them 20 bucks to hold it there. Those are completely different situations and handling of these endangered species. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. That law came into effect March 1st. Next, Seabourn is selling the Seabourn Sojourn to Mitsui Ocean Cruises. And well, they have a world cruise getting ready to go on very soon. But don't worry, that's still going to go ahead. They're not going to reschedule everybody. That world cruise will still go. But after that charter, it'll be handed over to Mitsui Ocean. That will make, after the 15-year-old ship leaves the fleet, that will make Seabourn one of the youngest and most modern fleets in the business. So I think that's kind of what they're going for. They want a modern, young fleet. And I kind of commend them a little bit on it. 15 years is nothing in the cruise industry. Right now we have 28, 29-year-old ships on the big three, and Norwegian recently just came out and said that they're hoping that their cruise ships can go to 35, maybe 40 years before they have to decommission them. So they're trying to get every square mile out of those cruise ships as the best they can. And it's no wonder, because cruise ships right now are gangbusters and they're always full. And so you want as many cabins out there that you can sell as possible. And so it makes sense why they're not selling off any cruise ships right now financially for a cruise line. It does make sense. So there you go. But Seabourn, most modern fleet, newest ships, probably right now. I think they can lay claim to that situation. Next, what happens if you forget your bag on board? What happens if you forget a camera on your ship? Well, you can contact the cruise lines, but they will usually tell you to go to a website called chargeback.com. And there you will fill out a form, what ship you were on, what the item looks like. Do you have any pictures of the item? Descriptions, date, all the kind of information that would help them locate your item, because the cruise lines will all turn it into like a lost and found area. Well, do you always get that luggage back? Can they always find it? No, not necessarily. For instance, my own experience is about 2 years ago, I was on a cruise ship and I forgot a 360 camera on board. And I did the whole thing on chargeback.com, and a week later I got a message saying that they had a hard time finding my item. Well, luckily for me, I know a lot of people on cruise ships. So I happen to know the cruise director on board. I happen to know the captain on board. I happen to know some of the officers on board. And so I contacted one of my contacts and said, hey, I accidentally forgot my camera. Do you think you can locate it for me? And sure enough, they did. The cabin steward turned it in to their lost and found, and they brought it to the security office, and they had it and notified me, even gave me a call saying they found it. They'll let Chargeback know, and they'll handle it from there. And I said, great. Then a week later, I got another message from Chargeback saying, we found your, no, they didn't say that. They said, we still can't find your item, having a hard time locating it. That went on for 4.5 months, where I received a weekly email saying they had a hard time finding my item, even though Princess directly knew who it was, gave it to them, told them what it was, where it was, how to find it, who I was, and to this day, I have still never seen that camera come back. So does it always work? No, but many times it does. I just had a particularly bad experience for it, and it was my own fault for forgetting the camera anyway. So it's on me, not any other company, to return it to me. But if you have something expensive, like an expensive ring that you forgot in the safe, or your wallet or ID and credit cards, just be notified that it doesn't always work. Well, let me know in the comments down below, if you ever forgotten anything on a cruise ship and had to go through this process to get it back. Did you get it back? Because my only experience is, nope. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel blogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.